Hello, Nomad Sculpt, and this is just for fun a blockout video of an ant. And my goal is always to sculpt it as fast as possible. So for this tutorial, I'm using a silhouette of the ant. So I download this picture or something like this, or yeah, and download it and use it as a stamp. So and then you get something here like this. Okay, so I'm hiding the groups, and for this we need a plane primitive. So I add a plane, and the first one I delete. So this is our top view, and I validate this plane, and I'm using here the mask. So I cloned this mask tool here, clone, and I created a mask stamp tool here. So the stroke mode is log radius. The fall off is flat. And the pressure here, there's no pressure. So then here, select here your alpha image you want to sculpt here, maybe a spider or this ant. So let's create the ant. On the left side, symmetry I don't need at the moment. And we need more topology. So here I use dynamic topology. I enable it. And the detail, I use a higher detail for the stamp. So I activate only the symmetry to find here the center point. So now I'm brushing here this silhouette of the ant. And I press here at the top sharpen. So this sharpen option maybe you find in version 1.90 here something, yeah, I don't know where it is because I'm using 1.91 for such a long time. So, but it works. Okay, so, and here I'm using a thickness of 0 and I extract the shell here. So we can use, maybe we check the mesh and check the smoothness here with the smoothness slider, and I think here something like this is okay. So I extract now this thing. So the other plane I don't need anymore. So we get this here. And I check here the symmetry, and you see here the symmetry is not correct here. At the moment there's a world symmetry active. So I'm using the gizmo and bring it here to the in a position that I like. And then I'm using here the mirroring and split and mirror the mesh so that the symmetry is correct. So now here on the side I center the pivot, and here I press move origin, and then I bake the positions here. You see here it's not correct, so I bake the positions and I recenter the pivot. So I'm sure that the mesh is correct here in the world center. So we see here our top view, and I'm using the snap 90 degrees and I rotate it in the correct, oh, sorry, not the pivot, the whole thing here. I rotate the ant so that front is front and top is top. So it's correct orientated. So when I press reset, the whole thing is correct. Okay, so the next thing is here, I'm using the split function, or no, now we can extract our mesh. So I'm using the mask, I'm masking the ant, and I'm extracting the height, so we don't need smoothness at the moment. So, and I extract it here like this, not more like the legs, so something here like this, extract. So it's correct. Now I'm happy. The first one, our silhouette, I'm hiding the silhouette here. Okay. Now I'm using the split tool. Here split tool, and here the splitting is set to legacy at the moment. So, and I'm splitting here the legs away. So I activate the outline. So this mesh here is the body. And these are the legs. Okay. For the body, I'm using the symmetry here and I mirror it from left to the right, so we only need this mesh here like this. Okay, so I'm using now the solo view and I'm using the clay brush. Clay. So in the symmetry, I can use here the Y symmetry also. On the left side, I activate the symmetry again. So now I'm claying here, so like this. So in the side view, you see what happens here to the mesh. So maybe like this here, clay, clay, clay. So, and maybe we can smooth it a little bit. Okay, fine. So here at this point I use the voxel remesher. So I remesh the whole thing here like this and press remesh. And also I can change here the face group like this. Okay. So then use cell mask here, mask this part here. We can blur it a little bit using the gizmo. On the side menu you find here the pivot option. Activate the pivot and then you can move here the pivot and then you can rotate your objects a little bit. So clear the mask. So then mask this part, activate the pivot, bring it here in position. So you can also use here the scaling a little bit. And so I go a step back because I want the mask on a different position. So I mask this here, place the pivot, I rotate it like this, clear the mask, gizmo, pivot, place it here, rotate it a little bit like this and scale it maybe a little bit. Clear. So I blur the mask a little bit. Now I'm using the move tool So for this here I have to deactivate the Y plane. So I don't know if it's correct for an anatomy or something, so I don't care about it. So you can use a reference image for this. So I want the end like this. Okay, so this is our body, and now we can split it. So I use split function. So I add here a group for the body, and I'm starting to split. So this one here is the head. I'm selecting the next part. I call it here segment 1 or so. And this one, segment 2, and this is here the segment 3. Okay, so I activate here the our silhouette, and I check here the alignment a little bit. So this one here, maybe a little bit more like this. So I think it's okay. Okay, now the legs. For this I use the mask tool, and maybe I start with this leg here. So I invert all the other legs, and I'm using here the side view. So I check here my wireframe. So at the moment, first I think I voxel remesh the whole thing here. Like this. So now it's remeshed, it's okay. And now I'm starting to use a move tool. So I bring here the leg in this position, and maybe the knee here a little bit like this. So, and I check here again the aligning with the top view. So this is leg, this is leg. So then I clear the whole thing, mask the next. Oops. What happened? Clear. Clear. Invert. Move brush. Bring the leg in position from this view. A little bit of smaller radius, like this. I think it's okay. Again, check here the position. It's correct. So the next one, move tool. Front view, like this. Top. Check the position. And I clear the mask. So the last one are the antennas, I think. So, oh, I need the move tool. Let's check the top view. I think it's fine. So maybe I clear the mask. And with a move brush, so I think here is a small part here. I separate the whole thing here. I select this one and I delete it. So the other parts here I can join again. So I use now a round all brush and I smooth the whole thing a little bit, that it becomes a little bit rounder. Or inflate scale. Voxel remesh. So here for the face group I give it a complete new face group, maybe other color like this. So, and here I'm adding now my mirror repeater. So now the end is done. So yeah, maybe we have a few seconds, so I'm changing here the face group for this object here and I voxel remesh it. Maybe a little bit rounder here. Also other face group. This one, face group, voxel remesh, voxel remesh. Change the face group, remesh. So, and for the head here, I'm using the mask here. Turn the symmetry off. So I'm masking here something like this here. The mask settings extraction, this is okay, I think. So I extract the whole thing, clear it. So change the face group. So I voxel remesh. And now with a drag tool or move brush, so I'm dragging out such a thing here. Oh. maybe it's okay. So face group is okay, yes. And so mirror. So then it's up to you here to use the sculpting brushes or move brush to bring the rest of the mesh in position, and yeah. Maybe like you want. So for a few minutes it's okay. It looks like an ant. So here in the view mode and face group on and maybe perspective, it looks nice. A little bit post process. So that's it. Have fun with sculpting. Ciao.